Mamita, hoy te tengo a muchos kilómetros de distancia, pero quiero decirte gracias por ser mi mayor ejemplo a seguir. Tu espíritu fuerte me siguen enseñando, inspirando cada día, así que te amo y gracias.
Hola ma, muchas felicidades, te mando un gran abrazo. Quiero agradecerte por nunca soltarme de tu mano. Que disfrutes de tu día. Besos.
Mami, feliz día, eres la mejor de todo el mundo.
Feliz día, mami, te amamos, gracias porque cocinas súper rico. Te amamos, ma. Feliz día de la
Feliz
mami.
día, te amamos.
Mami, feliz día, eres la mejor y te quiero mucho, 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 mucho.
Hola, muy buenos días para todos. Yo quiero felicitar el día de hoy a Laura Chávez por su día. Muchísimas felicidades, mamá. Sabes que te quiero mucho y espero que te la pases muy bien. Besos.
Te quiero mamá y gracias porque a pesar de la distancia tú siempre estás aquí.
¡Te queremos, abuela!
Mami, feliz día de las madres. Gracias por todo de lo que nos has hecho. Te quiero y te amo. Mami, gracias por todo lo que nos haces y te pido que te la pases bien y muchos besos. Bye.
Mamita, te amamos sin medida. Muchas gracias.
Felicidades, mami.
¡Feliz día de las madres!
Feliz día de las madres.
Feliz día.
Te quiero agradecer por darme estos 3 hermosos hijos. Que Dios te bendiga en este tu día.
Gracias por amarnos tanto.
Gracias por amarnos tanto y eres muy hermosa y feliz día de las madres. ¡Feliz día de las madres, mami! ¡Te quiero!
Felicidades.
Adiós, bye.
Mamá, te admiro. Eres la mejor en todo. Eres mi ejemplo a seguir. Eres mi guerrera. Te amamos.
Feliz día de las madres, te quiero mucho.
Mami, gracias por tu cuidado, amor y guía.
Por mostrarnos el camino a Jesús.
Deseamos que este día sonrías y lo disfrutes.
Porque te mereces eso y más. Muchas gracias por ser la mejor. Que tengas un maravilloso día. Te queremos.
¡Feliz día, mami! ¡Te amamos mucho!
Ma, feliz día de las madres. Te amamos mucho. Eres la mejor del mundo. Bye.
Feliz día, mamá. Gracias por escucharme y hacerme reír.
Mamá, ya no estás físicamente conmigo, pero continúas en mis sentimientos, en mis recuerdos, en mis pensamientos. Te amo y te extraño. Feliz Día de las Madres en donde quiera que estés.
Te amamos con todo nuestro corazón, con toda nuestra alma. Gracias, Ser, por este pilar. ¿Algo que quiera decir, papi, a mi mamá? Creo que está soñando contigo. Te amamos, mami.
Te quiero decir de parte de todos que te amamos, que eres una mujer valiente, amorosa, temerosa de Dios, hermosa, que cuida a su familia, que la ama y que cocina delicioso.
Hola mamá, te amamos muchísimo. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que haces por nosotros.
Mamá, te queremos. Siempre nos ayudas cuando tenemos problemas. Te queremos.
¡Felicidades! ¡Eres la mejor mamá del mundo!
Bien, por favor, quítense la peluca. Axel, quítate la peluca.
¿Ya me la quité?
Hola mami, feliz Día de las Madres. Te extraño muchísimo, pero pronto nos daremos un abrazo y un beso bien grande. Te amo. ¡Mua!
Mami, te amo, te adoro de aquí hasta el infinito y no sé qué haría sin ti. You're the best mom ever.
Mami, feliz Día de las Madres. Te mando un abrazo enorme, un beso enorme. Sabes que eres la mejor mamá del mundo, mi mayor ejemplo. Te amo. Bye.
Mami, felicidades, mamá. Eres la mejor.
No podré explicarlo ni en 1000 años.
consejera de verdad. Conoces mis ideas, solamente el cielo podrá pagarte tanto amor demostrado año tras año. Año tras año. Ángel, que velas por mi vida, sin dudar en ofrendar tu vida. Amor de madre, que casi es inmortal, regalo de Dios, que has dedicado tu vida a mí. Amor así no se puede describir. Madre, tu amor está seguro junto a mí.
Congratulations, moms. It's impossible for us to thank you so much you've done for us. To all of you, happy Mother's Day and welcome to all to Vida in Online. My name is Luis. Heidi, we are ready to start our service for today. We are ready and glad of this day that we're enjoying, especially to all moms. I am a mom, and I imagine all moms are enjoying this day. And all of us who have the joy of having our mom close or with us, whether they're at home with you, close to you, or at a distance, today pamper them as you can. Moms, enjoy your day. Let yourselves be pampered because today is a special day. And I have the fortune of Heidi being the mom of my children. There's no safe distancing between us today because we are spouses, so we're ready to start this service. And you know, before all this situation, we were operating as 3 different campuses, Saltillo, Monterrey, and Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City. Now we are launching one single transmission, one single church, and we know there are people from around the world with us. We've created a whole community, and hi to all of you. And I would love if this is your first time with us through Facebook Live or YouTube Live, please let us know. Give us a thumbs up, a like, a comment. Let us know you're there. Let us know who you are and say hi to you. And if you're someone who've enjoyed our services every Sunday, we invite you to share them so that they too can enjoy it and listen to an amazing message, because we are starting with a message or a series called Resilience, which might be a strange word. And resilience is the capacity us human beings have to face adverse situations, crises in life. And we are talking about resilience, and like Heidi said, it's a good opportunity to share the message from today and give other people the opportunity to hear it because they need it so much during this time. So I hope you can enjoy this series that's gonna last the following 4 Sundays. We're gonna start our service. Enjoy wherever you are at home. Get comfortable. Let's go to a moment of music and enjoy it.
conocerte, Cristo. Aceleras mi latido, latido. El ritmo de tu amor me envuelve. Quiero conocer tu latido. Mi atención llamaste, me diste libertad, enciendes tú mi alma, tu sueño es mi pasión. Quiero conocerte, Cristo, aceleras mi latido, latido. El ritmo de tu amor me envuelve. Quiero conocer tu latido. Donde esté, lo que pueda perder, no quiero más que estar junto a ti. Esté donde esté, lo que pueda perder, no quiero más que estar junto a ti. Quiero conocerte, Cristo. Aceleras mi latido, latido. Quiero conocerte, Cristo. Aceleras mi latido, latido. El ritmo de tu amor me mueve. Quiero conocer tu latido.
I believe that for most of us, when something excites us, our hearts beat faster and stronger. At Vida Inn, we are excited because today we have the opportunity of being connected through this transmission online. My name is Lauro. I am the family pastor at Vida Inn, and from the kitchen in my home, I want to thank each one of you for being connected today. Thank you, truly thank you. Especially, I want to thank you who are connecting for the first time. I want to thank you a lot because I want you to know that Vida Inn exists for you, that everything we dream about, everything we plan, and everything we do it thinking of you. And the reason is one, we at Vida Inn are convinced every person is valuable to God, regardless of their context, their condition, their walk of life, their experience. Every person, you and I, are extremely valuable to God. And we dream and desire for this generation and the next generation, your children and mine, can grow with that conviction that they can know that great truth that there is a Heavenly Father who loves them unconditionally and who will never, never forsake them. That truth is not something only they know, but excites them as well. Probably you don't know this today, but every week we remind this great truth to our children, to our teens and students in our family ministry. We do it every week, and maybe you don't know this, but every week over 250 children, teens, and students are gathering. Everyone with different stages of life, they meet at Zoom with a mentor, a person that invests his or her life so that they can connect with God. And today I want to simply thank every person who makes this possible. Truly, thank you. Thanks to every mentor, to every person who serves in our Family Ministry. Thank you for investing your life, and to every one of you who gives of your resources to make this possible. We as a church are betting on the next generation, and we invest a lot of resources, a lot of time for this to be possible. So thank you, because together we are doing this, and together we are betting on this generation to be impacted through this truth that God will always, always be with them, that they don't have to surrender their lives because God is with them. Hello friends, how are you? I am extremely happy to have the opportunity of sharing from Mexico City today. I want to thank you for connecting. I hope you are okay, that you are caring for yourselves, and that you are safe at home. I want to thank you especially if this is one of the first times you connect, or you haven't done it for much, to our transmissions. I want to remind you that at the end of this message, we are going to open a Zoom session, and I want to truly invite you to connect, to let us know you, that we have the opportunity of sharing with you a little bit more of what we do here at Vida Inn, and especially that you might know of the opportunities we have for you, regardless of where you are, for connecting to our community. I know it might be kind of strange, but our team will be ready, and they will love to see you there through a screen, and that we can connect. Today, I am extremely happy because we are launching a new series. It's a series we called Resilience. Don't stop fighting. And this word resilience is one we don't use much in our everyday vocabulary, but nowadays, when we are going through this difficulty as humanity, truly, resilience is something you and I want. I recently read at a Forbes article that Mexico City is one of the most resilient cities in the world. And it seemed interesting because definitely Mexico City is a city that has had the capacity of overcoming huge challenges, all the way from the urban growth, the lack of resources like water, and all these natural disasters like the earthquakes we have endured. But the resilience I want to talk to you today is that you can see in people. I don't know if you have asked yourself, why are there people that are more resilient than others, people that go through very difficult circumstances and they go forward or move forward amazingly? And while I was preparing for this message, I was thinking of this guy in Africa, Nelson Mandela, who was in jail for 27 years. Then he came out, ended all ethnic discrimination in his country, and became the president. And it's amazing. If you like sports, resilience also has to do with high performance. If you like basketball, I know you know Stephen Curry. This guy, when he went into the NBA, everyone told him, you know what, you're not going to make it. Your physique, your complexion won't be enough for the NBA. And 6 years later, Stephen Curry was named the most valuable player in the league. Basically, he led his team to the championship, and this was in 2015. It's amazing. Probably you know someone like this. Probably you have someone like that in your life, and there are many examples. And it's very interesting to me that today, on May 10th, Mother's Day here in Mexico, we're talking about this because I met a woman like this. I met a woman who is a mom, who is extremely resilient, and the story of pain of this woman started when she was a daughter. She grew up in a dysfunctional family with an alcoholic father. She endured abuse from family members, and she graduated, and a couple of years later she became pregnant, and she's a single mom. After a few years, she's living with her son, with her mom. Her mom suffered a stroke, and she was lying in bed, caring for her as a nurse day and night. And this was all the way through the last days of her mom. But today, this woman has moved forward. She's even helping other women through Latin America, going through difficult situations, especially women who are alone. And this woman I'm talking about is my mom. And I want to thank God for my mom's life. She's a great example to me. And Mom, today I want to honor you for what you did in my life and for what today you are doing for a lot of women throughout Latin America. And today on Mother's Day, I could also mention a lot of mothers who are important in my life, whom I admire and love, but I'm sorry, we don't have the time for doing so. So I simply wanted to honor and acknowledge you, Mom. A great hug and a kiss all the way to Monterrey. And I told you this about my mom because my objective today is convincing you to fight for resilience, because it's something you and I want. It's definitely a great value in life, and thinking on this, I wanted to look for a definition because there are many definitions of resilience, and I want to share one I like the most, and it's very simple. It reads, it's the capacity to face adversities in life, overcome them, and even be transformed by them. Listen, resilience is like this. I want to illustrate it with this bottle of water that I just drank. If I take this glass bottle and I smash it to the floor, it will break. It will become little pieces. But if I take this piece of rubber, this kind of Play-Doh, and I throw it with all my strength to the floor, of course, it will change. It will be transformed, but at the end of the day, it won't break. That is resilience. Those blows you receive from life, the difference between breaking and moving forward will be resilience. And there are two pieces of news in regard to resilience I want to tell you today. There's a good one and a bad one. The good one is that resilience is something you can develop. It's not something you are born with that you have or not. You can develop it. But the bad news is that to develop it, definitely you will have to go through difficult situations and blows or punches of life. And we don't like it. We don't like to go through pain. Who likes to go through pain? But it's like muscles. If you like to exercise, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of times we say no pain, no gain, because muscles have to stretch, have to be torn so that when recovering, they can grow and develop. There's an American author who wrote a book called Mount of Misery, and he talks about pain. There's a phrase that I really liked. It's interesting and I want to share it. It says, it's so complicated to face pain. We feel its pinch and we say it's his fault, her fault, or mine, or my father's, my mother's, or it's God's fault. And we try to let loose. Everything happens in a second. We feel pain and we blame. We want that pain to be outside. We fight against pain as if it were going to destroy us. When reality is, if we accept it, what it will do is heal us. It's really interesting what this guy writes, because you have to know the following. Resilience is a catalyst. It is a catalyst that basically helps you to go through that process of pain, of grief even, in a quicker way and with less impact. To me, it's like one of these permits that the US gives to enter the country. Maybe you have one. It's called global entry. It's one permit you have once you have a visa to go in quicker. There's less stress. Now, it's important because you still have to go through migration. You still have to get your visa, but global entry helps you to go quicker through all of that and without so much stress. This is definitely a way I picture resilience. And experts started talking about this topic. They started to talk about resilience, or in these terms, around the 70s. And today I want to present you with a character who lived in the first century and who talked about resilience. His name was James. James is famous because he was Jesus' brother, but what made him most famous was that he didn't believe in Jesus until much later. He got late to the party, and I imagine the conversation when Jesus told him, you know, James, I am the Son of God, and James said, okay, yeah, you're right. I also come from God. We all come from God. Thank you very much. To which Jesus might have said, no, James. Jamie, I am the truth. I am the way. I am the life. To which James, his brother, maybe thought, Jesus, it's great that you believe that, but when we go to school, maybe don't mention that because that's kind of strange. I can imagine their conversations. Imagine growing with Jesus, going to school in that stage. But James is someone who, when he realized his brother Jesus gave his life, died, and resurrected, is when he believed and understood and said, wow, my brother is God in human form. He is God. And believing that was not easy. At the first century, that was very serious. And between the years 62 and 66, James died as a martyr because of what he believed about his brother. That is how strong this topic was. What's important about James and what I want to tell you is that he eventually became the leader of the Jesus followers in Jerusalem. There was a church in Jerusalem of Jewish people who believed and followed Jesus, and James left them with a small letter. And there's a part of it at the beginning that I want us to read because it's very relevant to what you and I are living today. Look at what James says in chapter 1, verse 2. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." And what we first say is whenever you face, because the trials will come, the test will come. When you go to school, you want to have the test because you need it to be able to move forward. It's not designed to fail you, but for you to graduate. And this is what he is saying. He's saying, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials. And it's interesting because this verb consider means much more than just consider. When you see the original word, which was written in Koine Greek, and it's not that I know, but I have an application in my computer and it gives me a lot of information, you can understand that when James said consider, it was not just consider. He was saying think differently. Could you adjust your perspective, your insight? Could you train your minds in such a way that through the trial you could find joy, happiness? James was not saying, hey friends, be happy or be joyful because of pain. Be happy because of the trial. No, what he was saying was, could you consider that even through the test, you can be joyful, you can be happy, and you can feel it? What James was saying was important. What James was saying is that you and I have an option. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. And when I tell you to be resilient, when I want to invite you to fight for resilience, means that you don't have to see life as a rainbow. It's saying, yes, pain will come. Yes, pain will change you. But resilience says, it will not break me. And this is what James was saying. James basically says, life will not only happen, you have control over what happens in your life. And look at what he says next. It says, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. The test of your faith produces perseverance. I don't know how many of you are high-performance athletes that you run 5Ks, 10Ks, Ironmans, or marathons. I want to tell you something because I don't understand you. I respect you and I admire you. But when I was a child and when I played soccer or football and I trained, what they punished me with was running. And you run so much that you want to throw up, and you do it because of fun. I don't get you, but I admire you. And I want to tell you that running a marathon or half a marathon was not something that happened one day to the other. You started little and you grew. 5K, 10K, half a marathon, a whole marathon. That way you build that perseverance, that strength, that resilience that you need to achieve it. Friends, faith, the testing of your faith brings a series of amazing benefits, a depth and a richness. The testing of your faith creates perseverance, constance, not simply to survive or to overcome the test, but yes, it does it for you to be able to develop and grow and get to places you would never imagine. There is a reward in this. In verse 4, it says, or we end this passage where James says, let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Friends, this is what it is about. This is what it's about, that you are not lacking anything, that you achieve and you get to the goal. This is the promise. And James is saying, to get where you want to get, you have to go through this. And our nature is saying, I don't want to go through this. I don't like going through this. We don't like pain. And we fight against pain. But what James is telling us in a way is this. What if instead of fighting against pain, you fight for that resilience there's in you? What if instead of fighting against pain, you fight for the resilience in you? And I don't know what it's the specific purpose God has for your life through anything you are going through today. But I am sure that the greatest purpose you can find in your life will be the purpose God has to make you the person He wants you to become. The greatest purpose is that you become the person He wants you to become. Maybe you are even praying for this in your prayers in every day. You're saying, God, we want to become the people you want us to become. I want my children to reach that potential you have for them. And friends, this is to me like gold. Maybe, and I'm sure you know gold. This morning I checked the price of gold, and when you see 10 karat gold, I think it's like 500 pesos, 1 gram of 10 karat gold, but 24 karat gold, that which is passed through fire for it to be more pure, it's like 1400 pesos, 1 gram. What kind of carat you want for your life? Maybe you have the opportunity of being in these places where they blow glass, and you see how it goes through a lot of heat, and they have them in like a stick, and they put it in a very hot furnace for it to have a shape, and so that at the end it has that, or it becomes that piece they designed. It's the same with you. It's exactly what God wants for you and for me. And resilience at the end of the day will be the difference between the test breaking you or getting you where you want to get. Resilience will make the difference. And maybe you're asking, Jair, where do I start? How can I make resilience something real for me? What's my first step? And I want to propose this. The first step is finding a purpose. There is purpose. God can give purpose to you. And I know maybe if you're like me, you are always tempted to ask God, why is this happening to me? God, why? But after listening to James, I want to invite you to change your perspective and to change that question, and for it not to be why, but what for. God, what can I learn in this? What do you want me to grow in me? What do you want to do in my life? And instead of fighting and thinking, did God send this? Did God allow this? Regardless of all this, I don't know, because I don't know the answer, I know that what is happening because God wants and can do something with it, to develop something in you. God can use that which is happening to develop something in you. We're living a broken world, definitely. We are living in a world that, as precisely this year, reminded us with screams that we are most vulnerable than ever. We're most vulnerable. But what I want to tell you today, what I want God to imprint in your heart is that if we are more vulnerable than ever, we are stronger than we can imagine. Because you can be sure God is for you. God can give you His strength. There is a God, a good God, who hates pain, hates evil. What God wants is be by your side and tell you, I am the God who walks with you through the valley, through the wilderness, and through the darkness. That is the God we have, friends. That is the God we have. And on many occasions we focus or we believe those voices that tell us if you come close to God, everything will be okay. If you follow Christ, your life will be okay. Everything will be like a rainbow. And that's not true. You know this. Isn't it true that it's sometimes completely the opposite? You take a step towards God and things become even more complicated. But friends, this reminds me, and I want us, Jesus, to remind us something he said, because he never promised we would not go through difficulties. He never promised life would be peach and cream. And I want to read a passage to close, because after closing, I want you to listen to a song that speaks precisely about this passage I'm going to read. It's a verse that's in John chapter 16, when Jesus is having their Last Supper. They were having a very special emotional moment, and Jesus there told his closest friends, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. I'm telling you this so that in me you have peace. Not that you worry because of this. I'm telling you this because there was a long conversation before this, and he wanted them to have peace. And he continues, in this world you will have trouble, afflictions. And to this we all would say, oh, well, obvious, Jesus, you don't have to tell us that. We know that. And this year it was pretty clear. Trouble will come, difficulties will come. But Jesus is saying something very important, because then he pronounces two words that are key and excites me a lot, because look at what he says. But take heart. Take heart. Keep your hopes up, keep your face up, keep your eyes looking at me. Remember that regardless of trouble, there's something you should know. And he ends up saying, take heart, I have overcome the world. And friends, when Jesus said, I have overcame the world, they had no idea the depth of what Jesus was talking there, because after this conversation, Jesus would be arrested. He would face the most difficult crisis of his life, the cross. But it was because of his resilience that 3 days later, he came back from the death and to life. And in a way, Jesus was telling his friends, yes, you will face trouble, but through them, I want to give you of my resilience, that you will see, that which you will see in a few moments, because I want to do something through pain. I hate pain. I don't want you to suffer, but you have to know that I can use it for something good. And friends, you have to know this. God can do something through whatever situation you're going through. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your finances are very complicated. Maybe you have relational issues in your family with your children, your spouse. And God says, I want to build something. I can give you of my strength, that strength that led Jesus to resurrect from the dead. And you need to know something. Resilience doesn't simply come because of you desiring it. Resilience won't come because you expect it. Resilience will come when you fight for it. And I want to invite you to fight for resilience. I want to invite you to use the next 3 minutes in kind of a prayer. You can listen to the song that we are going to play in a few minutes. And I hope that this message that we want to convey through the music can become a reality for you, that they are your words, because it is worthwhile to fight for resilience.
La oscuridad, peleaste en mi lugar. Mis ojos yo en ti pondré, dejando el miedo atrás.
Aún en la batalla, aún en la tormenta, en medio del caos, confiaré. Eres más fuerte que todo lo que enfrente, siempre te alabo.
será mi corazón, nada podrá apagar mi voz. Mi esperanza viva está en ti. El fuego contigo cruzaré y sé que no me quemaré. Todo lo que yo soy lo entrego a ti.
Firme estará mi corazón, nada podrá apagar mi voz. Mi esperanza viva está en ti. El fuego contigo cruzaré y sé que no me quemaré. Todo lo que yo soy lo entrego a ti. Aún en la batalla, aún en la tormenta, en medio del caos, confiaré. Sé que eres más fuerte y todo lo que enfrente siempre te alabo. Con todo mi ser, con lo que yo soy, Dios. Con todo mi ser, con lo que yo soy, Dios. Firme estará mi corazón, nada podrá apagar mi voz. Mi esperanza viva está en ti.
El fuego contigo cruzaré y sé que no me quemaré. Todo lo que yo soy lo entrego a ti. Oh.
Friends, we hope that you enjoyed this service. If you are here for the first time, or you have watched our transmissions for a long time, or even if you are part of Vidaín community and you have not had the experience of belonging to a group and you want to become part of a group to continue to grow in your relationship with Jesus, this is your opportunity. Right now in the comments, you have a link for a Zoom meeting that we want to have with you specifically. We ask you to specifically go to that link, and there will be people waiting for you. See you next Sunday on our next transmission. Bye-bye.